In 1995, Toy Story introduced us to a world behind the bedroom door, a place where toys come alive not just with personality, but with purpose. To many, it's a charming story about friendship, growing up, and loyalty. But beneath the glossy surface lies something more ideological. This is not just a story about toys. It's a story about labor, value, obsolescence, and hierarchy. A tale where identity is inseparable from utility. In this video, we'll explore Toy Story through the lens of political economy and class dynamics, asking a deceptively simple question: what does it mean to exist only to serve? From the moment Toy Story begins, the world of the toy is structured entirely around utility. A toy's meaning, its very identity, is bound up in how well it performs for its owner, in this case, Andy. They don't just love Andy, they derive their entire being from his affection. Woody explains it simply:
it doesn't matter how much we're played with. What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for, right?
This is an articulation of pure use value. The toy's worth is synonymous with its function. The toys self-organize, self-govern, and self-discipline in accordance with this logic. Woody, as the manager figure, maintains order not just through charm, but through moral imperative. Loyalty to the system, to Andy, is loyalty to life itself. When Buzz Lightyear arrives, he disrupts the entire ideological order. Buzz does not believe he is a toy.
I'm stationed up in the Gamma Quadrant of Sector 4 as a member of the elite Universe Protection Unit of the Space Ranger Corps.
His ignorance reveals something deeper. He is alienated not just from his origin as a product, but from his purpose. He imagines himself autonomous, heroic, unbound by the mundane expectations of being played with. In many ways, Buzz's delusion represents false consciousness, a subject unaware of the structure he operates within. But unlike traditional protagonists, Buzz's journey is not to rebel, but to assimilate. Once he sees a commercial showing hundreds of Buzz Lightyears identical to him, he is devastated. His identity, once built on exceptionalism, is shattered by mass production. He tries to fly, crashes, and ultimately breaks, both physically and psychologically. And in his lowest moment, Buzz says,
"I'm just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy."
This is his ideological awakening. But rather than resist the system, he internalizes it. He becomes a better toy. The logic of utility, that one's value is proven through loyal function, wins out. The true antagonist in Toy Story isn't Sid, the cruel neighbor boy. It's Obsolescence. Buzz is a threat not because he's evil, but because he might replace Woody. Andy writes his name on Buzz's foot, a symbolic transfer of ownership and affection. Woody, who has long seen himself as irreplaceable, is discarded. The fear of becoming useless drives him to sabotage and betrayal. This is the logic of competitive labor, even among friends. In Woody's paranoia, we see how precarious status can be in a system that prizes novelty and performance. Toys live under the constant shadow of being shelved, boxed, or thrown away.
There's a nice little one over there.
Each toy competes not for wages, but for affection. Affection becomes the currency of existence. Woody maintains his leadership not through brute force, but through hegemonic control. What Antonio Gramsci called consent manufactured through ideology. He offers the toys a coherent worldview. We are toys, Andy loves us, and our job is to be there for him.
I knew you were right all along, Woody. Never doubted you for a second.
This belief system is reinforced through staff meetings.
Tuesday night's plastic corrosion awareness meeting was, I think, a big success. Thank you, Mr. Spell.
You're welcome.
Threat.
We've only got 1 week left before the move. I don't want any toys left behind. A moving buddy. If you don't have one, get one.
And even religion, the veneration of moving day as a kind of rapture. Even Mr. Potato Head, the closest thing to a class dissenter, ultimately upholds the same values. When Buzz is fully assimilated into the toy world, he becomes a co-manager, even rescuing Woody later. Their alliance mirrors the unity of bourgeois functionaries who stabilize a system rather than overturn it. The toys' lives are paradoxical. They exist to serve, but they are never seen. When Andy plays with them, they are animated by his imagination. When he leaves, they return to an inert state, lifeless, unseen, voiceless. This is the duality of alienated labor. The worker is most productive when they are least themselves. Even when the toys talk about being there for Andy, it is in the language of self-sacrifice and self-erasure.
Over in that house is a kid who thinks you are the greatest, and it's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy.
The tragedy is not that they are toys, but that they are convinced this is freedom. Toy Story may wear the mask of innocence, but it tells a tale far more complex. It is about the shaping of identity through function, about systems that define your value based on service, and about how those who question this logic must either be broken or converted.
There's a kid over in that house who needs us.
Woody's jealousy, Buzz's crisis, and the collective fear of obsolescence aren't just narrative devices. They're reflections of a world in which we are all, in some way, products trying not to be replaced. As we watch the toys fall with style, we might ask, are we flying, or are we just staying airborne long enough to be useful? Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis interesting, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into film, ideology, and the systems shaping our stories. And remember, the world that you accept is the one you live in.